Hey guys, your host Thomas Tyree from On the Hot Podcast here. Today, this will be the Combat Series episode number 78 for you guys today. So let's get into it. We got a jam-packed episode of boxing, UFC, and WWE for you guys today. But to kick things off, I'll be sharing my fight prediction for this weekend in the sport of boxing between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. So, Oleksandr Usyk will be defending his unified heavyweight titles against Tyson Fury in a highly anticipated heavyweight rematch taking place in the sport of boxing this weekend. So these are my following storylines heading into the highly anticipated unified heavyweight championship rematch between Fury and Usyk. Now, storyline number one is, can the rematch be better than the first fight? Because the first fight between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk was an absolute classic. An epic chess match between two of the greatest heavyweights that the sport of boxing has to offer today. It was everything that you want in an undisputed championship fight between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. And arguably, it's in the conversation for being the best boxing fight of 2024. Hell, one of the greatest fights in the combat sports, MMA or boxing, in the calendar year 2024. Now, the only thing that the rematch is lacking is that this time around, it won't be an undisputed rematch. Like I said, it'll be a unified rematch due to the fact that, I want to say a week or two after Oleksandr Usyk defeated Tyson Fury, he vacated the IBF title because he was going to be forced to fight the IBF mandatory before fighting Tyson Fury again in a rematch. So he decided to vacate the IBF title, and as things went on, Daniel Dubois was the interim IBF champion at the time, was elevated to become the new IBF champion. And we all seen what Daniel Dubois went on to do in his first title defense against Anthony Joshua a few months ago in the sport of boxing by knocking him out in the 5th round. So this is why this fight, this time around, it is a unified fight, a unified championship fight between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. All the titles will be on the line except the IBF belt for the rematch. So which fighters can fix their mistake for the rematch? Now, really, both of them capitalized well in the first fight between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. Both fighters fought well, and it came down to 1 point. That's how close the first fight was, with Oleksandr Usyk escaping with a 114-113 victory against Tyson Fury. So 1 point was the difference maker between the two respective fighters in the first fight. So I want to see how these fighters clean up on their small mistakes that they had in the first fight. Both fighters coming into rematching an opponent make great adjustments and rematches, just as Tyson Fury in his rematches against Deontay Wilder, how he fixed his mistakes from each and every single fight and improved dramatically to help him win those fights against one of the greatest knockout artists that this generation has seen in the sport of boxing. And then for Oleksandr Usyk, ask him when he's went toe-to-toe with Anthony Joshua twice. In the rematch, he even outboxed Anthony Joshua more. So we're talking about two pound-for-pound fighters that know how to make adjustments, make the right adjustments in their approach to rematches, fighting caliber fighters in the sport of boxing. So I'm looking forward to that in the rematch. So enough of the storylines. Let's get into the tail of the tape here. You have Tyson Fury, who is 34 victories, 1 loss, 1 draw to his resume. 24 victories come away of knockout. Stands at 6'9" and has a reach advantage of 85 inches. Then I'm looking at the champion, Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk is 22-0, 22 victories, 0 losses. 14 victories come away of knockout. Currently the reigning defending unified heavyweight champion. Stands at 6'3" with a reach of 78 inches. So the height and the reach advantage goes in favor of the challenger Tyson Fury. We're going to see how he uses his height and the reach advantage to his advantage in this rematch against Oleksandr Usyk. So these are the following game plans that I have for these fighters to follow if they want to walk out of Saudi Arabia with the unified heavyweight titles in the sport of boxing. Started off with the champion, Oleksandr Usyk. Now, Oleksandr Usyk's got to use his footwork and fight in different angles. And Oleksandr Usyk, his footwork is incredible to watch. If you just put on the tape, you don't worry about who's throwing the punches or anything. You just follow his footwork in the ring. He has one of the best. His footwork is one of the best in the sport of boxing. And he can fight in different angles, and that's what makes Oleksandr Usyk so unique, a pound-for-pound great in the sport of boxing today. And when he does that, he finds his footing. When he uses his footwork, he finds his footing. This helps him fight quicker, move faster, moving and fighting at different angles, using his footwork, and being alert defensively to set up for the counter punching that he does best. And that's one of the reasons why he did defeat Tyson Fury in the first fight. Moving around, fighting at different angles, using his footwork, being the quicker fighter, the smaller fighter, and counter punching well against Tyson Fury. I think he's going to have to do that in the rematch if he wants to successfully retain those titles against Tyson Fury and go up 2-0 against Tyson Fury in his career. Now next, Oleksandr Usyk's got to duck and move, and he's got to duck and move, and this goes back to what I just said a few moments ago. He's got to be alert defensively because Tyson Fury, for this rematch, if you guys look at his social media posts, you guys look at the footage of what he's done in camp, Tyson Fury put on more mass, and he looks like he's going to be more stronger and more heavier for this rematch than he once was back in May when he fought Oleksandr Usyk the first time. So it looks like he's putting on mass. It looks like he's gotten stronger. Tyson Fury, when he does this, puts on mass and gets stronger, he likes to lean on his opponents. And when Tyson Fury does that, he leans on his opponents in the clinch to wear him down. Think about it. If me and you guys are out there watching and listening or boxing each other, and we're in the championship rounds, and we're both giving everything that we have to empty out the tank, empty out the clip, and I put all my weight on you guys, hugging and lean on you guys for a good 5, maybe 10 seconds, for as long as the referee can, as long as it takes for the referee to break them up, and they could go out there and fight again. Tyson Fury likes to do that. And he's done that in the past against heavyweights. Lean on them in the clinch to wear them out, to tire them out, and do that for the championship round. So Oleksandr Usyk's got to move around defensively, duck and move, and avoid the clinch in all scenarios because all that weight, possibly 260 pounds plus, leaning on you, trying to fight in the championship rounds, that could wear you down and tire you out. So, and last but not least for Oleksandr Usyk, I think he's got to take Tyson Fury out to the deep waters and drown him. Now, in the championship rounds, you go back and look at round 9 through 12. Oleksandr Usyk won all those rounds, and that helped him win the fight by a score of 114-113. Hell, in the 9th round, Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury were battling back and forth. But if you guys remember that sequence of when Oleksandr Usyk had Tyson Fury on the ropes, and Tyson Fury got hit, and he bounced back off the ropes, and he was looking up at the ceiling, looking up at the lights. I'm surprised he didn't get knocked out because Oleksandr Usyk was landing them punches on Tyson Fury, knocking him around the ring, pillar to post, until he finally got the knockdown. And Tyson Fury was lucky he didn't get knocked out. But what my point here is, if Oleksandr Usyk could take him to the deep waters and drown him, like he did in rounds 9 through 12, the most important and pivotal fights in rounds in a championship fight, I should say. If he could do that and outbox him and mix in the footwork, I don't see how Oleksandr Usyk will lose this fight and lose this rematch. So let's get into game plans for Tyson Fury. No more fun and games, Tyson Fury. The Gypsy King. You need to go out there laser focused for all 12 rounds. You can't be showboating. You can't be playing to the crowd. You got to be locked in and put your foot on the gas pedal for all 12 rounds. Because if you don't, you could be in trouble of getting possibly knocked out this time around. He got clipped with a lot of punches, showboating to the crowd, playing around, put your arms behind your back, moving around No, I don't want to see none of that. Or pandering to the crowd, wanting them to stroke. You know what I'm saying? What Tyson Fury was doing in the first fight. So he's got to be alert, put your foot on the gas pedal, be locked in, and not play around against Oleksandr Usyk. You're fighting a top 3 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport of boxing. And if you don't win this time, we don't know if you're ever going to get another crack against Oleksandr Usyk. So he's definitely can't play around. Next, look, this one is really serious. Tyson Fury, he can't come in there with too many people in his corner. Now, I heard that Tyson Fury is not making any adjustments to who's going to be in his corner, his coaching, his trainers. He's not making any adjustments for this rematch against Oleksandr Usyk. However, he can make that one small adjustment by not having several people in his corner during this fight. Because if you guys watch how the fight played out against Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk in the first fight, Tyson Fury was winning the first half of the fight, and he was taking control of the fight. But then he had too many people in his corners as the rounds continued to go on, which kind of escalated Oleksandr Usyk to turn things around and gain the momentum for the second half of the fight. Because you have one person saying to Tyson Fury that he's going to win the fight, just take it easy. You had too many inputs. And once you listen to too many inputs, things go wrong. And that probably led to Tyson Fury taking it a little easy in the 9th round, again, when Oleksandr Usyk almost knocked him out. So that has to be cleaned up for Tyson Fury. That was one of the small mistakes he did make, those two things. And then last but not least, for this game plan, I think Tyson Fury should go back to establishing the power and use the jab. Tyson Fury is the natural-born heavyweight. Obviously, Oleksandr Usyk is a 2-time undisputed champion in the sport of boxing. He's a cruiserweight that moved up to heavyweight. So he's not a natural-born heavyweight like Tyson Fury, or not a natural-born heavyweight boxer like Tyson Fury. So obviously, he's the bigger and stronger fighter. So establish the power. And Tyson Fury did do that a lot in the first fight. He was unloading the clip, establishing this power on Oleksandr Usyk. And had Oleksandr Usyk rocked and dazed and hurt a lot in the first fight, but the showboating is the reason why Tyson Fury didn't go in for the kill and capitalize to put away Oleksandr Usyk or possibly earn a knockdown because he was playing around. So I think Tyson Fury should establish the power. Going to the body is going to be very pivotal. That could definitely slow down Oleksandr Usyk, who's the much smaller fighter. I think Tyson Fury should use his height and his reach to his advantage as well, and establish the jab. The jab is one of the best things that the Gypsy King has. He is a bread and butter fighter. The jab can land. Once you start rolling with the jab, if you're Tyson Fury, that can land to the 1-2 combinations. Landing with the feints coming in, the jab, you're landing the jab, then you feint the jab to go to the 1-2 combinations, or to go to the body to establish the power. If Tyson Fury can follow these game plans, I don't see why he can't defeat Oleksandr Usyk in the rematch. But with that being said, this is close to call. There's no right or wrong answer here, but I'm going to go with Tyson Fury to defeat Oleksandr Usyk by split decision to become the new unified heavyweight champion in the sport of boxing. Listen, I think Tyson Fury is going to defeat Oleksandr Usyk this time around. I think it'll be 1-1 with the trilogy coming in 2025. But I think Tyson Fury can defeat Oleksandr Usyk this time around by learning from his small mistakes that he made in the first fight. If there's anybody that's great at making adjustments and rematches, it's Tyson Fury. Just ask Deontay Wilder how the second fight went and the third fight went in the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder trilogies, with Tyson Fury making incredible adjustments for each fight. But I think Tyson Fury is going to establish the power here against Oleksandr Usyk, being the natural heavyweight boxer. Even though Oleksandr Usyk defeated him the first time, what Tyson Fury needs to do again, he needs to establish the power, land the jab, feint the jab, and then go for 1-2 combinations. I think Tyson Fury should go for some body shots to slow down the offensive approach of Oleksandr Usyk. Now, if you got Oleksandr Usyk hurt this time, Tyson Fury, go in for the kill. Don't showboat to the crowd. Do your damn thing and try to hurt him. If you're not going to knock him out, at least wear him down, tire him down, and possibly get some knockdowns. But as long as Tyson Fury is locked in and focused, alert defensively, takes the fight to Oleksandr Usyk and walks him down, and instead of Oleksandr Usyk walking him down this time around, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer of why Tyson Fury cannot defeat Oleksandr Usyk this time around. So give me Tyson Fury to avenge his loss, to defeat Oleksandr Usyk, to become the new unified heavyweight champion in the sport of boxing, which I'm predicting will set up a trilogy between the two respective fighters in 2025. But that is my Fury versus Usyk fight prediction.